Tell everybody a little about yourself, starting off where you're from.
I'm from New York. I'm from the Bronx, 183rd to be exact, Creston. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing music for a long time, so I could say professionally since 2010. You know what I mean? Me and my peoples, we started a label 365. It was big. You know, unfortunately, I ended up catching some trouble in the streets and getting locked up, and things happened. And so now I'm home and I'm just getting it all back together. You feel me? I feel like what it is.
So, like, what was it like growing up in the Bronx? Because that's, like, totally different from Atlanta.
Man, the Bronx, like, it's like good and bad. Like, it has its gifts and it has its curses. Like, you know what I'm saying? As far as, like, on the good side, the Bronx was live. It was parties, it was block parties, it's dancing. You know what I mean? We do a lot to have fun. We play ball. We get into different things. So, and then on the other side, it was just like any other in the city, like drugs, violence, gangs. You know what I mean? Regular street shit.
Was it difficult for you to stay out of that sort of street life?
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Especially when my family, you know what I'm saying, my mother was like that, my father was in the street, so, you know what I'm saying, my household, it kind of was in the home at first, so I was outside young. I was involved. Yeah.
So how did you move from basically, I guess, being outside and living sort of like that street lifestyle to getting into music? Like, was there a transfer or was it all like blended in?
Shit, I went to a group home when I was like 9, and I was young as shit. I was like 9. Everybody in there was older, and there was a staff member. He was from Harlem. Man, he used to always be like, "Yo, you so bad, man. Your little ass always running around doing shit." He like, "Listen, let me teach you how to rap." And I'm like, "Nah, I don't want to be no rapper." Like, you know what I'm saying? He like, "Nah, let me teach you how to rap." And he just sat there and taught me and really like wrote my first rhyme, and then was like, "After that, it's on you now." You know what I'm saying? And he was the one that kind of mentored me as young. And that was my way for expressing myself. So me being young, you know, all we know is fighting and whatever, like that was another way for me to express myself. So that was like my hidden talent in the cut. I ain't really tell nobody about it until I got a little older. Then I came out like, I'm a rapper and I'm nice. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So when you first came out, were you like producing your own stuff or were you like getting beats from other people?
I was getting beats from wherever I could get it from.
Mm-hmm.
From mixtapes, instrumental mixtapes, from YouTube, like from everywhere. Like anywhere I can get a beat, I was on it. If I did do shit over, I'm doing this shit over. You know what I mean? So, and then in them times like 08, 09, 010, you still had instrumental mixtapes. So I'll go and I'll just buy instrumental mixtapes and just be in the trap house and just rapping. Or I'll be on the front of my corner, like front of my block, like in front of the store, just rapping. Just battling whoever want to battle. Like, oh, you nice? All right, well, battle him because he's the nicest nigga over here. You know? If you really nice, you got to see him. You know what I mean? So where it got big.
So was there any point where you wanted to go to college? Or did you just like super like pursue music as soon as you left high school?
Unfortunately, I went to prison young. So my first bid, I was like 15. I came home 20, so college was out. You know what I mean? My school was more of a hard knock, so I ain't go to college. None of that. I went to jail like 10th grade.
So you really been doing music your whole life? That's fire.
My whole life.
Wow, that's dope.
Yeah.
And so do you feel like having to jump off the porch so early helped you out in your music career versus somebody who, you know, like they went to school and then it, you know, it may have took them a little bit longer to get into music or they didn't have the same time that you to pursue their passions?
I could say like it helped me as far as like should I talk about, you know what I mean, content and touching other people, you know what I mean, being able to hit certain subjects, but the streets and being in the streets and being off the porch, unfortunately, like it took a lot of time for me. You know what I mean? From being home, from being able to, with this music, it's consistency. If you can't consistently drop music and videos and everything, it's like you can die down. So it took a lot of time for me being in the streets, unfortunately. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you talked about like you talked about like the streets and music. Do you feel like now like there's a lot of street influences deeply embedded in the music culture, as,
Yeah.
as opposed to like, you know, being separate. Like these are the rappers and these are the gangsters.
Yeah, like the gangsters is the rappers now. Like I could say that by myself. I was in the street. I'm considered a gangster to some. But I think a lot of people that's on right now is people that, you know what I mean, was from the streets and they got a chance to make it out because they still had a gift and a talent. And I think that's what music is about. This what it's really about. You expressing yourself, telling your story, because there's going to be other people that went through the same thing that you went through.
I could definitely feel that.
Yeah.
So what's been like the biggest challenge though with the music?
Man, so much rappers, so much talent, so much, you know, music moves so fast now. Like this album be hot for 2 weeks and then the next 2 weeks is a whole nother album that's hot. It's a whole nother rapper that's hot. Like you go viral, people go viral every day. So I just think the variety of just different artists is just, you know, it makes a person coming from the beginning. Like if a dude just say I want to rap today, and he just say this is what I want to do, he got a lot of work to do. There's so much people that's been doing it. There's so much people that, and hip hop is so global now. Like you don't have to just be a street rapper or this or that. You can be an old lady and rap and be nice at it. And if you nice, you gonna go. So it's, I don't know. It's just different. But it's definitely getting yourself out there. And sometimes that's the hardest thing is being around the people you need to be around and meeting the people you need to meet.
So you mentioned it like being difficult for a newcomer to come in and just like start rapping. How do you feel about like when major labels just take someone because they have the look and they put the support around them to create sort of like a brand and a rapper off of that look?
I feel like a few years ago I would have been like, took this personal, like, oh man, they just be, now I understand business. Sometimes it's business, you know what I mean? So this dude might have the look, the following to this, but he don't have the music, he don't have this, or all they know is as a machine, we just come and put the music behind them, put them in the studio with these great producers and these great songwriters, add some features onto it. Now you got a hit record. They know it ain't hard, you know what I mean? But for me, I think what's been hard for me, like my struggles, like to this point was just doing it, being consistent, like staying determined no matter how much, you know, pitfalls or whatever I go through, I stay determined to keep doing this for my dreams, and it's working out.
I feel that. So when you started, were you independent?
Yes.
Are you still independent?
Yes. Even though I'm working on, I'm sitting down with a label right now.
So would you rather be independent or would you rather like go and sign with the label?
No. Honestly, like an independent thing is cool, but I spent a lot of money doing this. You know what I'm saying? Being independent, you know what I mean? It takes a lot. You know what I mean? So yeah, and I think anybody would want the industry, like the labels behind them. Anybody would want the buildings behind them, and for that full push. You know what I mean? That full campaign.
I feel like now there's been like a lot of like anti-major labels. And I believe that's because maybe like the younger generation, they don't necessarily know how much like they would have to spend. How much did you spend, or how much do you think someone would have to spend to like just even break one record?
Estimation, man. Like for me and my peoples, man, I think in 1 year we at least 60, man, at least 60,000, and we didn't even reap the benefits of that until like 2 years later. You know what I mean? It's where we really started like getting our flowers for the work we put in 2 years before that. So, like even right now, like for radio and stuff, like different cities, radio campaigns is crazy. Cause New York City is 25,000 for a radio campaign. So it's like, you know, you gotta have that bag to get involved in this independently and thinking that you're gonna do something. You know what I'm saying? 100,000 might not be enough. You know what I'm saying? You might blow 100,000 and you might need enough 100,000 to really get over that mark. You know what I mean? But you losing your mind over this 100,000 that just spent, and you feel like you ain't reaping the benefits for it, and you might need to go an extra mile, and that extra mile will take you the way you need to go. So this is all a gamble. This is all, you know, you believe in yourself, put your bread up, and see what happens.
If you had to advise like someone else coming up, would you say independent or try to get you a deal with a label?
Man,
based on your experience?
I would say independent because you can make your money, and you know what I'm saying. If you have the money to go independent, yeah. A lot of things with getting to a label is the ownership, the publishing, you get into the real nitty gritty of business. And some people's not ready for that. So I would say, yeah, start independent. Like, get yourself, go through the bullshit of the industry yourself. You know what I'm saying? So by the time you sitting down with them people, you already got a understanding. You know what I mean? Some type of understanding.
Yes. I thought it was crazy, the number that you mentioned for like the radio spin in New York. Is that one of the reasons why you came down to Atlanta?
Actually, I came to Atlanta because I reached out to my peoples, which is a big producer out here, and I'm like, yo, I'm about to come to Atlanta to see my peoples. And he always told me, like, when you get up here, come see me. And I came and saw him. And actually, you know what I'm saying, now this might be where I have my next chapter in his music. You know what I'm saying? He's a real big producer. I ain't want to get into it, say names and all that, because it ain't nothing written in stone, but we definitely working towards something and got some big things in the future.
I feel that. So what's your ultimate goal with the music?
My ultimate goal is to tell my story. I got a hell of a story. I just want to tell my story and then bring a lot of younger acts on that, you know what I mean, that it's been hard for them to get on. You know what I mean? Doors might not be closed for them. I'm going to open them doors for them. I got a lot of good talent, you know what I mean, from different places, and I want to just create a platform for good music. And eventually get into other things, TV, modeling, acting, whatever entertainment. I'm ready for it.
I feel that. I can see that, and you've definitely been making moves. So if there was anything any advice that you could give someone else coming into the industry who hasn't made a song yet, who hasn't made a music video, who has no connections, just like that kid sitting in their room, like what advice would you give them?
Never stop. Never stop. Never stop grinding. Don't never let nobody tell you can't do it. Don't never believe you can't do it. No matter how hard it get, keep going. This is what you want. This is your dream. Keep going.